Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we've finally got the first real content update for Helldivers 2, and I just wanted to give my first impressions of the patch notes and then probably log in and quickly do a game to see what's going on. So this is going to be the Escalation of Freedom update, and it says we have a lot to cover in this democratic update, so without further ado, here are the patch notes for 1.1, basically. Overview, difficulty 10, Superhelldive. When we did our balance feedback, all that stuff, this was the suggested name we had. Hang on, I'll just bring it up. This was the last time we did one, was on June 18th, so I guess that was a while ago, but we called it Superhelldive difficulty, right? And we had a couple of suggestions for it, so hopefully we could just log in later and play it. And this is kind of the main reason that I wanted to play this update. This got me so hyped up that a suggestion that we came together as a community and name just for fun ended up being the T10. So I honestly thought this was probably when they announced it, just the coolest thing imaginable, right? Being part of a game just feels cool. So that's a huge W. And I'm just honestly amped to go play it later. They got new mission objectives, major enemy outposts, new bugs, new bots, new environmental hazards, new swamp world. Probably not looking forward to the new swamp world. Kind of overhyping that a little bit. I think there's I'll pop a picture of it up. It's it looks like a horror movie though. So I'm super interested in playing a horror shooter. I think Gears 1 was the first time that ever really captured me like that. So hopefully that does the same thing. Crash fixes, social menu fixes, balance work, miscellaneous fixes. Hopefully this is nothing but buffs. Major updates. Difficulty level 10, Super Helldive, new extreme difficulty, just designed for the experienced, skilled Helldivers, featuring formidable new enemies and intense challenges. Again, that's just the main thing that I'm excited for with this update. New mission objectives with 2 new secondary objectives that will soon be active on a planet near you. These faction-specific optional objectives. Optional objectives? Have you attacking automaton human processing plants to destroy their evil bioprocessor and venturing deep into determined territory to deal with a larva sample that the bugs will do anything to get back. So you're stealing. We've seen this thing in data mined forever ago, and we kind of had that in a leaked video a long time ago. So this will be cool, I guess. As the side objective, that's a little weird because I think we needed more main objectives and main missions, but maybe Super Helldive fixes that. Not sure. The huge enemy outposts, assault terminus strongholds, automaton fortress, and new Super Helldive. That's the massive fortress. They kind of did a picture of it. I'll pop it up. So I'm kind of looking forward to see what that is, or if it's just going to turn into us throwing a bunch of 380 millimeter barrages at it, right? We don't know yet. So we'll see. It says the challenge will be great, but the rewards even greater. Search the conquered outpost thoroughly for confidential data and make sure to extract with it. May liberty guide your path. This could be really cool. The general idea and theory of finding something to bring out a new weapon or something just piques my little brain. New bugs and bots. New and enhanced threats to freedom emerge. Guess who's back to bug you again? The Impaler returns, burrowing its head and popping tentacles from the ground to catch you off guard. Watch out for its lethal limbs, but don't miss its weak spot when it digs in. It seems like self-preservation isn't its strong suit. I think in the first game, you were supposed to just shoot it in the face. I'm pretty sure after it stabbed the ground or whatever. Maybe it's the same way. The Impaler, however, is not all. Prepare for the rest of the formidable foes. Rocket tank rolls in with heavy armor and devastating firepower. The reinforced scout strider now has its previous vulnerable spot bolstered, so that means its sides aren't open anymore. And it's got rockets on each side for greater firepower. And then the spore charger fearlessly invades through thick acidic fog, accompanied by an alpha commander. Watch out for its friends. So couple new enemies. Hopefully they dynamically change the way that you play the game. I don't see the spore charger being anything crazy, but a rocket tank's probably going to change generally what we'll be doing for quite a bit against the boss, especially if the way they showed it, it's an artillery barrage almost. That's going to be pretty insane. New swamp planet. Prepare to dive down into an eerie, foggy version of the swamp planet. Keep your wits about you. Don't let it fear take hold. Yeah, so again, it alludes to a horror shooter thing. I think that's fun, but again, we'll have to see. Could just be terrible. We don't know yet. New environmental hazards. Acid storms temporarily lowers armor for enemies in the player. Make use of this, but stay on high alert. Helldivers. Balancing. Slugger. Increased stagger force, increased spread, increased drag. You know, usually when I read increased, I'm like excited, like we're getting a buff. This is going to be hype. What happened? The slugger sucks. Increased stagger force. So they reverted a nerf and then double nerfed it. Well, how does the slug spread? How does this make sense? So like it's just good. We're just gonna have like bloom on a single shot slugger. I'm so confused about that. Like this gun's terrible right now. Stagger isn't gonna fix it. Like this gun sucks right now. This should have never been nerfed when they nerfed it because it was never a good gun. Like I know people used to like glaze this thing like crazy, but it was B tier at best, even when people thought it was God tier. It never was. It was okay. Right. And it was fine. And the fact that it got nerfed and it's just the way that it is, it needs. Again, I'll link this balance stock in the description. We go over a bunch of stuff for the slugger. Like never should have been nerfed. Slam fire toggle. Again, just revert the changes to what it used to be. I don't know. That makes no sense. Incendiary breaker decreases number of magazines from 6 to 4. And increased recoil from 28 to 41. Do I have to clean my glasses here? This is what? So like the one update we glazed because they learned their lesson and like buffed everything, and now they're just nerfing stuff. This just makes it feel bad to use. I think me having to reload my gun more is never a good situation. Recoil on this thing probably doesn't matter because it's a shotgun, so like whatever, but like this will just make the weapon feel bad to play. I don't even have to log in to tell you this feels bad. Like you already were magazine dumping like crazy with it. So like just dropping 2 off the table there, like in my opinion, just isn't the way to fix it. I don't think this is good. I think that this is like we showed a bunch of builds when we were playing before. Like you never needed to use the incendiary breaker to participate in Helldive. You never needed it, right? But it was the most OP thing, and it was like the noob entry level weapon to like go play Helldive with, right? And it was fun because it was the noob entry thing, right? And then like it was still like it was the god tier super weapon, and it was like so powerful that now I'm just going to be taking a supply backpack every time, and nothing's really going to change, but it's just going to feel worse, and I don't like that. I think this is bad for the game. I think in general things should have been brought up to the point of incendiary breaker because like primaries kind of suck. A lot of them suck. So that's how it is. Grenade pistol. Decreased ammo from 8 to 6. Increase the number of rounds replenished from an ammo box from 2 to 4. From an ammo box, not pick up off floor. So 2 to 4. That don't make no sense. Like I know I'm not a mathematician or a rocket surgeon or anything of the sort, right? But when I think about like it's not even half a 6. Just don't make no sense. I don't like this. This is stupid. Crossbows one-handed. Cool, I guess. Guard dog. Increased number of magazines from 6 to 8. That's not going to help. I don't know if anybody needs to hear this, but the guard dog is worthless. The machine gun guard dog. It's never going to be good. Reality check. Orbital walking barrage. Increased number of salvos from 3 to 5. Decreased movement speed by 40%. I guess that's a buff. Orbital 120 HE barrage. Decreased cooldown from 240 to 180. Reduced time between salvos, so it'll shoot more and have lower cooldown. That's good because the 120 kind of sucked. Had no place in the game really compared to the 380, so maybe it'll be good. Probably still never going to use it. It's what it is. So that was the balancing section, and like this is really light for balancing. Like if this is all they think that needed balancing in the game, like I don't think I'm playing the same game as the people working on it. I think that this is genuinely just straight disappointing. I mean, maybe this is cool, but like who cares? Like both of these are who cares. Like they're still going to be bad even after these changes, like by comparison to other things. Like Like you wouldn't take them compared to other things. I can already feel that. Right. But anyways, moving on. Gameplay, operation modifier, atmospheric interference has been removed. Is that the one? Is that orbital? Is that orbital scatter? No. Like on the bugs where like your is that what that is? I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Anyways, additionally, the automatons, we added the modifier poor intel, which makes objectives on the map get a search radius like most eliminate objective already has. I don't know what that means. Somebody with a more brain power than me at 6 in the morning is going to have to tell me what that means. Corrosive acid planets no longer have intense heat environment modifier. Awesome. Gunship patrols are less frequent and the amount of ships are reduced. I didn't mind the gunships before, but they were just too tanky and they nerfed their durability. Okay, so they're less durable and there's less of them. I don't think the modifier needed to be nerfed. I could be disconnected because I never really cared or had a problem with them because I just brought like something to kill them. But maybe let me know how you guys feel about the gunship amount reduced. But now that they're weaker, it shouldn't be that bad. Improved armory, weapon, preview controls, whatever. Updated orders UI. Cool. Energy shield, such as shield generator backpack, shield generator relay, now blocks snowstorms as well as sandstorms. I'm probably still never going to use the personal shield generator, but that's fine. Good buff for people who use that. A new grief protection system has been added to that allows kicked players to continue their own mission. This allows players to complete the mission and get full rewards despite being kicked. Crash fixes. Decrease the chance of crashing when alt-tabbing. Rare crash. Okay. Crash stuff. Cool. Weapon and stratagem fixes. Devastator armor. Incorrect description. Blitzer. You can now hold the fire button to shoot continuously. All right. Neat. Blitzer plasma punisher. Missing armor pentag. Just a bunch of like random fixes. Ballistic shield no longer blocks the enemy's LOS and no longer collides with combat walker. Just a bunch of fixes for this. That's good, I guess. I'm pretty sure that it can still just break and despawn though, which makes it feel bad to use, but is what it is. Can now be refilled from ammo on the map. It's still not going to make it good. It just needs like the guard dog just needs to be like a Gatling machine gun. Like drop the Liberator off of it, put a Gatling machine gun on it, make it cool, man. Who cares about a Liberator guard dog? I want to see a Gatling gun on this thing following me around, bro. When I imagined this thing, when I first read about it, it was like the like anime for Starship Troopers, and like Rico grabs that mech suit and like there's a Gatling gun on the back of it and it's shooting behind him as he's running away. That's what I imagined this would be, and this is like the piss version of it. Miscellaneous weapon fixes. Fixed a bug where weapons would be held sideways. That was funny. Fixed arc weapons not shooting out any bolts when line of sight is blocked. Okay. Arc weapons misfiring when shooting enemies that are aligned horizontally. That's weird. And haptics for tenderizer. All right. Social menu fixes. I mean, who cares? Really? I mean, like the social menu. If I log in and the social menu works, that's a shocking development. I've basically, like, every time I've played Helldivers 2 for the last, like, since its launch, I've had to just invite people through Steam anyways, and most of the time I can't join on people or they can't join on me if a second mission's completed. So if the visibility, the joinability, whatever's fixed, that's probably for the better. I'll just cut to the important ones and cut out whatever in between. Fixed Hivebreaker Jill now does damage when dropped in nuke nursery chamber missions. Hopefully there's another bug with the Hivebreaker drill where you can't push the buttons on it. So we'll see. This was kind of just a big nothing burger for the most part. So just known issues. We're aware and investigating some performance issues with difficulty 10 and have begun working on a fix. The patch just came out though. Why didn't it just get delayed until it's fixed, man? Like, the game may display infinite loading screen if player disconnects during the deployment cutscene. Players may sometimes not receive friend requests, whatever. Invite-only games created by a friend can be seen on the galactic map but not joined. Conduct geological survey mission may become incompletable after you call in the seismic probe. Bile Titan sometimes does not take damage to the head. Enemies that bleed out do not progress personal orders and eradicate missions. Dead massive enemies may sometimes launch the Helldiver into the air. Don't fix that. Most weapons shoot below the crosshair when aiming down the sights. Flamethrowers fired from inside shield generator cannot damage enemies. Reinforcements may not be able for players who join a game in progress. Service enemies can shoot through. Enemies can sometimes shoot through obstacles. How did that not? Okay, first of all, I'm 50-50 on the update because I haven't played Super Helldive. Just first impressions. This is the most 5 out of 10 update I've ever read about, to be completely honest with you. And the fact that this isn't fixed and we're adding like tier 10 super bases with bots, big blasting everywhere is insane. This is insane that this isn't fixed. This has been in the game. It was not on patch 1. When they changed the enemies, it was implemented in the second patch of the game. That's the first time we saw it. Maybe you experienced it in patch 1. Maybe I didn't. But I know that I didn't experience this until the second patch, and it happened the first day we were playing on that garbage update that basically that's the one that where Bile Titan surges happened and everything, the second patch of the game, right? That everybody hated. I remember that very specifically. That was not a great update. And the fact that this has not been fixed for so long is the biggest L of the entire thing. This should have been like an absolute priority. So my overall first impressions of the patch notes specifically are like mid. Again, I got to go play Super Helldive to have an opinion about it. I'm excited to go play Super Helldive. Those patch notes started, I was like on fire, and then progressively just got more and more annoyed as I read it, which is super crazy. I don't really know what to think about that. So I guess we'll see. And just really quick, like every patch, we just quickly start the game up, go load in and see if there's any broken things I can find right off the rip. Maybe something's broken, maybe it isn't. We'll go find it. That's for sure. I popped the drill mission on T9, and ironically, as after I read the patch notes, this is still a little bit of a problem, as some would say, because I can't complete the Also was using the Firebreaker. Disgusting. You just run out of ammo so fast. It feels so bad to use. So I just loaded into another game. This was my first encounter with the new Hive Commander guy. Takes quite a bit of damage to kill. And then there's a Spore Charger here. So this is one of the new enemies. And something. So what sucks, to say right off the rip here, is they nerfed fire. So you'll see in a second, you can't shoot the leg with the flamethrower anymore. It just kind of doesn't do damage through the leg. So I don't know why that's not in the patch notes, but you cannot kill chargers by shooting them in the leg with the flamethrower anymore. Another nerf. They do still die if you shoot them in the back or the side or whatever. Like I cook them right here, but why isn't that in the patch notes? Why isn't a drastic gameplay, he dies there, but why isn't that? It's a massive gameplay change. This is a drastic level gameplay change that completely changes the way you use a flamethrower. You just wouldn't bring it for chargers anymore because you can't shoot their legs out. Obviously you can shoot them in the back or whatever, like I did, but weird. So this is my first encounter with the new Impaler enemy, and I did encounter it again after this, and it's super easy to kill, right? It's not hard to take out, but oh my god, is it frustrating if you don't? Because after I killed it, I was like, what happens if I just try and run away from the tentacles? You don't run away from the tentacles. You have to stop everything that you're doing to kill this thing because it is just spam ragdoll. It is frustrating to play against if you just run away. It's easy to kill, like I said, but if you run away, you're not killing it. So it's extremely frustrating to play against, to be honest with you, if you were just to run away or you didn't have the ability to kill. If you were in a death spiral or something, this is going to end your game. And the only W is the death animation from it's awesome. But one other thing that I noticed that a lot of other people will probably notice fairly quickly is that the enemies are doing a substantial amount of more damage to you, and I'm pretty sure that getting nuked by getting headshotted is back. I will test that more in depth later. Just a theory and an assumption right now. One thing to note is that performance in the ship is really, really, really bad. So you might have to tank your settings down. So make sure you take a look into that. But let me know what you guys are thinking about the patch. I doomed on it pretty hard towards the latter half of the video. But that's what I'm best at, is complaining and whining. And again, I think this patch is just mid to bad. I won't know how bad it is until I play later, because Super Helldive could be amazing and super fun, right? Tier 10 might be challenging and fun and interesting, but I generally don't like the direction that they're taking with the balance this patch. I think it's bad. I think that the fact that the slugger gets buffed and nerfed twice is very weird. It's like they can't just accept that they were wrong about it, right? Shrapnel's still not back in the game. The eruptor didn't get fixed. There's so many things that need to happen and so many problems with the game. And if you've heard me talk about the balance stuff, I'll link the stream of it in the description for you guys so that you guys can check it out and see how I go over everything, how I talk about everything. It's very in-depth. And like this video will go for 4 hours if I talk about how I'm going to balance and fix every weapon and what I would like to see. And mainly, it's not just how I feel about everything. After doing a balance feedback form every single update for this game, I've kind of learned what like the majority of people would like to see, and inflicted like my own opinions on that as well. So it's not just like a super sweaty perspective of like the 1% that's doing like the weird no death stuff. It's like, it's basically a general opinion about everything. Like, I think that the slugger should just be reverted to like patch 1. And I think that there's a new war bond coming out as well on August 8th. And when that happens, the Punisher is going to feel weird. And we brought it up on Thick Fille's podcast, but the Punisher should have like a crazy high amount of limb damage so that when you shoot it, you rip a bunch of parts off. That's what I said there too. That because with the new fire Punisher, it's going to eclipse the regular Punisher and you would just never use it because it's just going to be a better attachment to the weapon. So anyways, rambling a little bit. That's my review on the patch. I just want to hear what you guys are thinking about it more than anything. And I'll form a final opinion about everything later on tonight. But that's going to be all for now. Wish you guys the best of luck out there.